What's happening, everybody? Surly Mechanic here with episode 7 of Story Time with Surly. And I want to start this episode off by saying, as much as we like to make fun of it, safety is a big deal. Now, in my experience, once you get to a certain experience level, it coincides second nature, and sometimes you get a little complacent because it hasn't happened to you yet. I've had, which finger? One of these fingers crushed pretty good. I think it's this one where this scar's at. This hand's been crushed. I think another one was crushed in an incident also. Not fun. I didn't lose any digits, but it does happen. I mean, my current job here in my hometown, I'm working as a millwright, and a person, there was an incident out at the site that I am at today, where someone lost their life, and it's no fun, and you can expect these things. I mean, nobody's going to live for forever, but nobody wants to go out that way. And I feel for any immediate family and friends and immediate coworkers of this particular person. My heart goes out to you right now. I know they're not going to watch this, but this is just me doing my best to understand the situation. So, safety first. Y'all might see me sometimes in a video using a grinder or a weld machine with no gloves on, grinding something with no face shield or glasses on. That's just, if something happens, that's my own fault. And I think in this particular instance, there were so many variables. We've had some bad weather this morning, and I'm fairly certain that came into play a little bit. Y'all can hear my kids screaming in the living room. Anyway, a couple things I want to talk about. So, Toby Keith passed away. I guess that was last week. I want to tell a funny Toby Keith story, or Kobe Teeth story. Old Kobe Teeth. That's what one of my younger siblings used to call him. I don't remember which one of them. So, I think his first album came out in 94, 93. And I remember what reminds me of Toby Keith more than anything is or what he reminds me of, his music, his older music, his first set of stuff was my uncle being home from boot camp when he joined the Navy, and he drove a 80s model S10. It was white, and he picked me and my brother up in Orange, and we were headed back to Buna to see my grandmother, and we got pulled over coming off the interstate to exit for the highway we needed to be on, because Buna's in the middle of nothing. And we get pulled over, and I remember the officer walking up, "I need your license and registration." And so my uncle handed him his driver's license, his military ID, and insurance or something. And he says, "I'll be right back." And he runs back to his car. He comes back, just gives him a verbal warning. "I see you're in the military. Here's your identification. Thank you, for your service, whatever, this, that, and the other." My uncle rolls the window back up. We get rolling, turns the music back on, and it was Toby Keith. And this is back when CD players weren't standard in vehicles. It was still a tape deck. And I remember Matthew, my brother Matthew, who was sitting in the middle, goes, Uncle Mark, are you going to get in trouble when we get to Grandma's house? He goes, no, of course not. I'm an adult. And he looks over at me and goes, but just don't say nothing to her. So that's what I think about when I listen to old Toby Keith. There's that. And then I'm trying to think of some other things. So I have a coworker who is the same age as myself. And yeah, we both learned a little bit too late about playing the game in a workplace, right? So I'd always been, I won't say the word afraid, because I'll be honest with you, there's not much that I am afraid of. I always was not confident enough to assume a leadership position, right? Well, when you're answering questions for supervision or your foreman or your GF based off of things that they know, and I'm not saying that I'm doing that now, I'm just saying in general, when you know more than the people who are in immediate charge of you, that's something you need to think about. Like, hey, if I'm having to tell them how this works, why shouldn't I be the one in charge? So assess your career situation. Just random. Like, ask yourself, could I lead a team to do this? Could I manage a facility that does this? Am I confident enough to assume that role? I mean, maybe you don't want to do paperwork. Maybe you'd rather work on your tools. Maybe you'd rather answer the phone and yes sir, no sir, instead of directing the person who answers the phone. Maybe that's your position. That's cool. Play your position. But there are so many accolades for people who are in charge who are completely clueless. And like I said, I've never been some kind of corporate lackey. But I am finally learning how to play the game. Like, oh, I see. You know, when you're a younger man, you kind of take it personal when somebody gives you some critiquing or, hey, let me show you how I do this. It might be different than the way you do it. That doesn't mean you got to do it that way, but, you know, I am of the mind in a workplace that nothing you say is going to hurt my feelings or offend me in any way, shape, or form. And if it's something that I don't like, I'm going to say something to somebody. Because you know what? Especially with construction jobs, there's another one just down the road. I work with wrenches. There's another one just down the road. So you have options. Don't get so comfortable and complacent that you think, I gotta mind my P's and Q's and walk on eggshells and nah, I'm not doing that. Nope. You can hear my son in there getting running around the living room screaming. I apologize. And then learn how to talk to people. All people, any people. We talked about safety in the workplace. We talked about Toby Keith. I know that's not like a giant story or nothing, but it's just what I'm in the moment. What I had written out that I had wanted to discuss today just wasn't ringing with me with everything this morning, because anytime that I have been involved with any kind of large scale job, setting equipment in place, or something that is immediately dangerous to my immediate area, I always, and my wife can vouch for this, I always send her a message. Hey, there's something dangerous going on here today. There's a we're using a crane or moving this piece of equipment or working on something that's live, I just want you to know that I love you, and, you know, this is what's going on at work right now. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Tell them while you have the opportunity. Because unfortunately, out here where I'm at right now, there's a person who's not going to have that chance to go home, to leave the gate. So, it's not fair. Life is not fair, and I've said that before. It is not fair. Boy, y'all look what the sun's doing to me, man. I might have to start covering up. Start wearing my bandana around my face a little bit more. I was wearing it today to keep the rain out of my beard, but even that didn't help, so. Alright, well, this is episode 7, Story Time with Surly. If there's anything anybody wants to ask me, feel free to hit the comments. To the 10 or 15 people who watch this video, I greatly appreciate you guys. I know there's some people out there, Texas City, Galveston, League City, Alvin, Orange, Mauriceville, Beaumont, Port Arthur, Vidor, Bridge City. I know there's people out there that watch, and, you know, there's just a couple of them. But I'd rather have a couple of solid individuals enjoying this content than a million haters. So, that being said, you guys have a great weekend. Stay dry, stay warm. This weather doesn't know what it wants to do. And when you're out working, be careful. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you later.